Good afternoon. I am Beth Bolus. I hope you guys have been following me. Welcome. For those of you that are new around here, I love to bring to you tips from some of my friends, and I bring it to you Michelle from Cold Canada. And she has three littles, and she learned a very valuable lesson about a year ago, and she's going to share that with you. And she's had so many changes, and how cool is it she's able to be home with her children. And I was talking to her last night, and she has three, is it three girls, Michelle? You're muted.
Yeah, so I have three, all under the age of 11.
And all under the age of 11, and I think they were all like getting baths, and she was doing that whole cycle of things, but we were still talking, and I thought that was great that she could shuffle all that happening at the same time, um, and still carry on a conversation, because I remember those things so well. Michelle, tell us a little bit about yourself and living in Canada. Have you always lived there?
I have. I'm actually from a small city called Cornwall in Ontario. And it's such a small tight-knit community. And what happened was I met my husband and he lived about 5 hours from where I was from. And I moved. So I'm now in Oshawa, close to Toronto.
Okay.
And juggling being a wife, and then I had two kids of my own and he had a daughter, so now I've taken on the role of a stepmom, and all of the things. I was really on my own, and it was something that I had wanted, to be on my own, but we're such a tight family and we believe in those core values, so
Mhm.
strongly that it really pushed me outside of my comfort zone. So I changed careers.
So, so are you home during the day, and he works outside the home?
Yeah, so he works nights and he sleeps
Mhm.
during the day while we're all home.
How interesting.
A lot of things. And on
So
top
are
of that,
you,
it's. Oh,
God,
sorry,
I
go
lost
ahead.
you there for a second. Are you always trying to hush the kids, or does he sleep through it?
It depends. It depends. There are times when they're very loud, so I do hush the kids, but generally I'm like, you know what? Kids will be kids and they have to be a little bit loud and rambunctious sometimes.
They do. And if you're a mom at home, a dad at home, and you know what it is to juggle and shuffle all the different schedules of everything, share this out to somebody, and let Michelle, you were in a different place a year ago, and things really radically changed in the whole way that you handle juggling being stepmom, wife, and mom to three girls now. Tell us a little bit about that and that transition that happened. And you kept telling your best friend no.
So, make a long story short, right before the pandemic hit, I realized that I was having a very difficult time juggling life and everything. So my youngest had started daycare. I had started back to work, and my stepdaughter went to a French immersion school. My oldest daughter went to a French school, and then my youngest was at a daycare. And then juggling, I'm a supply educational assistant. So I was having full-time work, but being at a different school every day. So building that rapport with those children who really need that rapport was taxing. And taxing on me, taxing on the children. And but I was juggling it, but I found myself crying one night, like hysterically crying, and I'm not an emotional person. And I just
Mhm.
sat there thinking, well, I give everything. I have a serving heart. I love to help people. I love to do things for people. But I felt that night that so despair, like who's going to take care of me? Who is going to
Right.
nourish me? And I had seen my sister, she's like my sister. I've known her since she's 3. We grew up basically in the same home, and I had seen her thriving for the last 6 months before I decided to even try it. And I thought, oh my goodness, this is too good to be true. There is just no way that that'll be for me. But I had tried everything. I had literally like eaten healthy, worked out. Um, I tried other supplements, other systems, other energy boosters, and nothing was working. And I reached out to her and I had no idea what exactly it was. Like I had heard information on it, but I didn't know exactly what it entailed. And that night I remember seeing her post and I thought, how does she have such joy in her crazy life? And I thought, I need it. I want it. And I have a spiritual life too. So I was like, okay, well, if God, if God's for me, then who could be against me? All those things, right? And I was
Right.
like, but my body needed something. My mind needed something. And I needed to be sharp. I needed to be on the ball. I needed to feel like I could not just make it through the day, but actually get things done. So
Yeah.
I signed up, I bought on the spot. I had no idea about any particulars. Got it in the mail. A couple of days in, I was like, okay, I'm not feeling anything, but I'm going to stay consistent. By day
Mhm.
4, I saw some things starting to come together. And this might be TMI, but I'm cool with sharing. So if you're not, I'm sorry. But I was like, you know what?
We're all
These
cool with
like
sharing around here because you know what, sharing it because it's real. If we're not authentic, then people really are like, well, what are you talking about? So let's be real.
right. Right. So my aches and pains, my aches and discomforts rather, were starting to subside a little bit. I have digestive issues, and
Mhm.
so I'm very cautious as to what I try. And this was allowing it to feel like it was healing. Like I had more regular bowel movements. I was having like everything was just starting to come together. And then by day 10, I was blown away. I woke up feeling absolutely wonderful. I was playing with my kids again, and I think it was about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and
Mhm.
I was playing in the kitchen, tag, and we had like this little car that you're supposed to use outside, but we had it in the kitchen. And I was on the car chasing my kids around. And I got up and I'm like, what's happening? This is me. I was me again. And I looked at my stepdaughter and I was like, have you noticed something different about me? And she's like, actually, I have. And I'm like, what have you noticed? And she's like, you're happy. And I was like, yes, yes, I am. She's like, you're crazy. I'm like, well, are you gonna come be crazy with me? Because I can't be crazy by myself. And she's like, and I said, okay, well, what else have you noticed though, for real? She goes, well, you're more patient with
Mhm.
Leah, because the middle child, she's too smart for her own good. And she was like, well, when she's not listening, you're not screaming at her anymore. And I
Wow, what
just
major wins?
bawled. I like stood there and the tears are coming down my face. She's like, Michelle, that was a compliment. I'm like, I know. I'm just so happy that I was ashamed of the mother I had become. But I was turning into mother that I knew I could be, that I was
Well,
designed to be.
yeah, and how incredible is that? Because you know what, and I just love this because you're so right. When we think we have it all together, and we try, and we think that we have all the pieces fit together, we want it to work so bad, but we're becoming who we told ourselves we would never become. That grumpy mom that just didn't have the patience, and for you to tell me that your 11-year-old, sorry about my dogs, noticed that you were playing with her now and that she noticed that you were now having patience with your middle one. I mean, and for her to realize that at 11 and the example you're setting for them to shift things and make that shift, so you're actually able to play and enjoy and you're happy again and you're joyful, and God does design us to be joyful and to pick out even in the middle of the things that have become difficult, if you will, to figure a way out. And sometimes we don't want to accept that tool. So how long did you tell your friend no?
Um, I had watched her 6 months straight, and I don't think she directly asked me. I think that she had just invited me a couple of times to a
Uh-huh.
few of the things. She had a private Facebook group that I had joined, but I wasn't really participating. And she said, "Hey, did you take a look?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's okay." It's okay. She
Uh-huh.
was like, okay, that's fine. But I think maybe if I really thought, it's maybe 4 or 5 times, but in that six
Mm-hmm.
month period. But I knew I wanted what she had. I just wasn't courageous enough to try it, and that's probably the only regret I have is have waited that long because I could be 6 months further. But
And we've got
everything comes in time.
Michelle, we've got so many people on here. We've got young moms. We've got parents on here that are watching that probably have some grandchildren around. And if you have found yourself in that place where you're going, I can't get off, I'm just so tired. I'm not happy. I'm grumpy with my kids. I don't even have the energy for them to come crawl up in my lap and read them a book or get down on the floor and really, really be engaged with them. I just want to go to sleep with them. I just want them, which is great. But creating those bonds and playing takes our relationship with our children to a whole different level. And I commend you for finding a way and sticking to it. Tell me about how simplistic. You've got your husband getting off work in the mornings, and 3 children to get ready for school.
It's crazy busy in this house. I barely have a free moment. And the thing with this, the absolute beauty is the simplicity. How easy it is to implement this, and the reward I get for it is absolutely mind-blowing. It's mind-blowing how much I've been able to benefit. It's blown up my heart. Like I'm French, so I have the expression in my brain, but I feel like I'm overjoyed. And the fact is that I ended up choosing this as a business, as something that I wanted to continue, because here's the thing. When I saw what it could do for me, and being that I love to serve and help, I was like, there's so many other people, so many other moms and grandmas and all of those beautiful people out there that are struggling like I was. And if I could help them turn their life around, then I was going to. And I made it a mission to learn more, and I fit it in when I can. And here's the thing, like, I don't compare myself to anybody else. If I get that 5-10 minutes here and there throughout the day, I take it, because this is real. This has been like, and I know you can attest to that, this has actually allowed my body to heal some of the things that have been going on. And I hadn't been able to lose weight. Weight loss was one of my goals, but it's not my main focus. But I haven't been able to lose weight in over 2 years. And the scale has gone up for other medical issues that I have been dealing with. But for the first time, I'm down 7 pounds. And I can celebrate that because I've worked my butt off for that. And this has allowed me to get there. And so I'm just like,
that's amazing. 7 pounds is a big win, and I'm sure that your clothes even fit so totally different at 7 pounds. And we have some Thrivers that are watching along with us. Tell us what Thrive has done for you. And if you're new, because I do see some watchers on here that don't recognize who you are, Thrive is a simple 3-step nutraceutical system that fits into you the first 30 minutes of your day. It's capsules first thing when your eyes open, before your feet hit the floor. With a glass of water, you're taking those pre and probiotics and stomach enzymes to neutralize the acid in your stomach. Then you're coming behind it with, you get a choice of multiple different flavors. Our best seller is vanilla. Which is your favorite, Michelle?
It was strawberry for the longest time,
Okay.
but I've switched to vanilla, which is surprising because when I first started, I detested the vanilla, but I love it. Like, it's so weird.
I've had several people tell me, their tastes do fluctuate like that. I've had several people start out with strawberry and go, oh my gosh, I can't stand strawberry. Give me something different. And so we mix and match it. If you're local, like mix and match it and design it for you. So, and I'm sure that you're able to do the same thing. So the really cool thing, Michelle, is that, that third step, which one are you wearing today? I've got the Ultra On.
You can't see it, but I could pull down my shoulder, but I don't know if that's appropriate. I have Black Label on. I don't know.
Yes.
We'll see if you can see just the top.
I love Black Label. Tell us what it does for you, because I've shared with my friends what it does for me, but you're a young mom. What does it do for you?
So I've been able to try a few of them. This is my favorite. What I found is that it has given me that energy even in the afternoon, not just the jump kickstart of the day, but throughout the middle afternoon is where I used to struggle the most. This has really, really transformed that little hump to get over, as well as the mood boosting elements to it. I have found that it lasts me longer. Like, I have that joy longer. I'm not moody.
Yes.
And as
Yes.
women, we get moody at certain times, and this one is like a lifesaver.
Absolutely. And for me, for those of you that don't know, this is the Ultra, and it gives me incredible amount of energy and stamina. In fact, I just got back from my first boxing class that and forever. This is only the second time I tried it. I love it. I've loved it, and I still have energy. So I didn't plummet, which sometimes, without that extra, without fueling my body well, I would have never even thought about stepping into that class. So tell me a couple things. Number one, what is your favorite book that you're reading right now that has pushed you forward in your personal mindset?
Oh my gosh. It's intended for Advent, which is before Christmas, but I don't care. I just transferred it over. It's actually a devotional. So it's a
Good.
Christian devotion. It's an Advent. So every day there's a story, there's a scripture, and then there's a spot to write and journal. Journal gratitude, journal what you've learned, your thoughts, and how to relate it to your personal life. And I do that,
Perfect.
takes about 10 minutes every day. And that has really switched my mindset, switched my thought patterns, my heart. Starts me out on another positive note. That has been like my go-to.
That's awesome. What's the title of it? Do you recall?
Oh my gosh, no. I
Drop it
should
in the
know,
comments.
but
I'll take it off the
I'll
list.
put it.
Drop it in the comments. Now, Michelle, I bet that your friend that told you about this, I'm not sure who it is. Is it
Melissa
Sarah?
Watkins.
It was Melissa. Okay,
Yeah.
Melissa. Melissa is, she and her husband are in law enforcement, and so it's kind of incredible. I didn't know that. Okay, I didn't know your relationship there. Um, and so I bet that she challenged you to take some pictures a year ago when you started thriving, and now I would like for you to share those. I mean, 7 pounds doesn't maybe sound like a lot, but I've seen from when I first met you last spring to now, I've seen a major transformation and shift in the way that not only your smile, but the whole way that you carry yourself and your body has shifted. And sometimes it's not so much about the scale win, it's the non-scale win, such as the joy that it's brought back into your life, your ability to play with your children and to feel alive again. And it has helped you to, in your faith, even pick that up to the next level. So when we get our gut health, we get our gut right, we get our minds right, and it allows us to get our focus right in our faith. So
Absolutely.
how incredible. If you're watching and you know Michelle, reach out to her. If you know me, reach out to me. We are here. We want you to feel and have that joy back in your life.
Absolutely.
One more question.
Okay.
Um, where do you see that you would be now, having gone through all the, because I know you guys got hit really a whole lot more hard than we did here in South Carolina in the United States, with all the shutdowns. Where in the world do you think you would be right now
I
with having changed this one thing in your life?
I joke, but it's not really funny. I joke about how if it weren't for these 3 steps, if it weren't for this company and this team that I've been so blessed with, I would probably be in Third South. And I could cry saying that, but I really do mean that. There's a lot of things physically that have happened to me. There's a lot of things this family has had to endure. There are a lot of things when you have to seclude yourself from the people you love. And I'm already 5 hours away from my family, right? But we made it work to stay connected, to visit and all this stuff. But there's been a very long period of time that I haven't had the comfort of my family. And that means a lot to me. And so with everything that has added up, I don't think that I would be okay. And I probably would have sought out medical help. But the thing is I knew that there were some things that weren't okay in my body that were making myself, like my mind not be right, my body not be right. And so this leap of faith that I took has allowed my body to heal properly, my mind to come back together. I don't feel crazy anymore. And that was huge. Like juggling all of the things and tackling that without anything was just no longer an option. And
Yes.
so I'm so thankful that I don't even have to imagine that.
Thank you for being so authentic and so real, because I know that there is a mom out there, somebody out there that has also felt that they have been totally lost and disconnected. And the community that we have together is absolutely a blessing. And the fact that we actually do take time to interact with each other, to pray with each other, is amazing. And that is just not in our local church body, but that it is spread so vastly, so vastly far. It just, if that's even an expression, it's just amazing. It blows my mind how far this has gone. And I am so glad that we have connected, and now connected on another level.
Me too.
And thank you. And I want you, if you're out there watching, Michelle and I rescheduled and knew that her children would be kind of in a quiet time today at this point. So listen, you adjust, you work this into the quiet moments, to the moments that you have, instead of taking them to scroll and play games, and instead of taking it just to like mindlessly do something else, you schedule it in your intentional with your actions. Michelle, thank you.
Thank you
Have a
so
good
much.
have a wonderful afternoon.
Thank you. You too. I appreciate you
Guys,
having me on.
thanks for watching, guys.